Evening everybody. I thought I'd share today with my flowers. I bought some beautiful flowers for VE Day in red, white and blue, and hopefully they'll last as long as possible. So it's Pam Steele on my regular blog, and yes, we're on blog 31, would you believe, and so we're going to review the last 10 blogs. And then I just wanted to say it is Happy Nurses Day. It is the birthday, the 200th birthday of Florence Nightingale. And so for this point, I would really like to say how much and I'm sure all of us appreciate all the frontline work that the nurses have done. So happy Nurses Day. Now, looking forward, we went back to blog 22. Looking backwards, but blog 22 about what we'd learnt about lockdown, and there was all those existential, I call deathbed thoughts about, maybe spending more time with family, living out more of your dreams, being more passionate, having more happy thoughts. And then there was the ways to stay resilient through lockdown. So being positive, accepting, obviously being resilient as very good ways to fight the COVID-19 lockdown. I think we learnt how vital our health is and how we probably take it for granted, and realise that like Boris, we're not immortal and it could affect us, and we have to do everything possible to protect ourselves against this particularly nasty flu virus. And the other thing perhaps is how important relationships are, and particularly some of us who live on our own, getting that sense of feeling slightly isolated, and how important it is to connect with the outside world. I'm very fortunate in that I have a dog and it gets me out and about, but connecting also virtually, doing things like the Joe Wicks workout, all the sort of house party, Zoom, all sorts of things. But much more important, something I've really learnt throughout doing these blogs and throughout lockdown, is that good relationships are far better than any materialistic benefits that we might get. And then finally that, yes, the earth is sick and needs attending to, and we can't keep ignoring that. So then in blog 23, we went on to building physical resilience, and we had some very stark facts about alcohol being a poison, and that we should treat it with respect, realising that that is so. On blog 24, we went on more about exercise, my favourite subject, and we looked at other exercises that you could do apart from going to the gym, because we know that the gyms are all closed. So, so obviously things like, the green gym, just being able to go out and walk or jogging or any of those things. And we looked at the benefits of exercise for brain and body. And then we came on through building physical resilience to look at body relaxation in blog 25, which is great for the health. Mindfulness and breathing being so important, and doing yoga, massage, all sorts of things like that. But on blog 26, we then went on to talk more about mindfulness and how we can do that not just by sitting cross-legged, but we can do it by jogging, by walking the dog, by cycling. Cycling is one that's particularly good for me, and walking the dog, obviously. And we looked a little bit more about the benefits of sleep for building our alertness and processing body and mind events during the day. In blog 27, we looked at a really important subject of how our bodies and how sleep and our circadian cycles help or hinder us in terms of protecting ourselves against those pathogens, those bugs, bacteria, virus, that sort of thing. And so we looked at that, how we got the skin, which is the main protection, and then more vulnerable is things like the mouth, the eyes, and so so we have to sort of be careful of that. The nose, we do have a certain amount of protection, but they're not quite as resilient as our very hard sort of skins. And then the very interesting subject about the circadian cycles, about how if you're going to have a vaccine, if they do eventually come up with one of them vaccines, you're better off taking them in the morning because it's more likely to develop those antibodies than in the afternoon or evening. So action needed there. Really important to clean yourself thoroughly, particularly your hands and your mouth, face at night before bed, because that's your vulnerable time. And doing things like natural light, exercises and less caffeine all help you sleep, which again protects you against the virus. So blog 28, we realised there were some very odd, strange dreams going on social media, and I think it was a metaphor really for anxiety and stress, as dreams often show metaphors like a tidal wave coming to get you, or a plague of locusts or something like that. But it's important, as well as having low moods, to acknowledge these as something being wrong with your life. And action, often fixes depression. So we may not feel like it, but taking action is the most important thing to do. And remember, the ancient Greeks actually said that flu means, or influenza, is a definition of a bad influence from the gods in the Greek language. So, and Hippocrates said it was an imbalance. So interesting, that's come from years, all those thousands of years ago. So this week we started the week talking about very important subjects such as relationships, and how difficult it must be for those people in relationships and families all being locked in together. But we looked at the benefits of relationships and how most people in relationships do get on better in terms of happiness and mental health than those people who are isolated. But we looked at some very important ways to maximise communication and remind each other of the things that you like about each other rather than the things you don't like. So tomorrow we are going to carry on a little bit. It's Friday, we're going to carry on a little bit about mental health. We have found that just people emailing me or talking to me that this second stage of supposed loosening, but not much, of the lockdown has actually made them feel quite low, because there's another long haul ahead of us. So we're going to talk a little bit about that tomorrow. So have a great day, everyone, and see you tomorrow. Bye.